Hello and welcome to the Living Scary Podcast.
The podcast where we talk about real-to-real horror so you can live vicariously through us.
I'm the one explicit scene of violence, Logan, and I like to watch and talk about horror movies.
And I'm a hot ham and cheese sandwich, McCall, and I like to talk about true crime and murder.
Woo!
Woo! We're doing it.
Yep.
How are you?
I don't know.
Oh.
I'm doing good. I think this is the first time. So our last episode kind of went up, and this is the first episode that we've done recording separately on Audacity. I think this is the first time I actually was able to hear your microphone and like hear it nicely.
That's
because I don't know if Zencaster was just shite and like it just was like running our audio through the meat grinder or what.
I don't know.
But
sounded like I was talking through a tin can.
Oh, on Zencaster, yeah. But that last episode, I think both of us sounded really good in our last episode.
Crisp.
Also, we've got our friends being like, I'm crisp, let's go.
I'm crisp, let's go.
How are you doing? How are you?
I'm good. Is anything happening with me? I don't think so. How about you?
Same. I'm really boring lately.
Oh, do you want to hear
I go to work.
Disgusting thing I'm drinking right now? Maybe it's not that disgusting.
Yeah, what is the vile thing you're drinking?
Well, I'm out of wine, I'm out of Truly's, and I'm out of Coke. So, we have some like really old cream soda. So I did cream soda and whiskey. And
That sounds
not that bad, but it's really sweet. Like,
that
really
sounds
sweet.
Yeah, like I feel like it would taste fine, but it also like hearing it makes me think of like gut rot. It makes me think of being sick in the morning.
It makes me feel like my teeth are rotting, like when I drink it.
Oh, actively.
I keep picking it up to drink it and then being like, no, I actually don't want to. I'm actually okay.
Gingivitis.
Also, today after work, don't know why this was in my head, I want a Fig Newton so bad. I haven't
Love Fig Newton.
Fig Newtons and also a Nilla wafer. Like, why haven't I eaten those in 40 years? They're so good.
Okay, now Nilla wafers, I don't agree.
You don't
Nilla
like
wafers,
Nilla
I don't.
wafers? Wow.
I'm very. They're boring.
Yeah, they're Nilla. They're vanilla wafers.
Yes, they're boring.
They're fine. If you dip them in milk and you're like 2 years old,
They disintegrate.
yeah, but you're a child. Like your taste buds don't mean anything.
I do remember like getting those as a child and being like, this is the lap of luxury. And then like as an adult eating them and be like, what the fuck was this?
What was I doing? It's like eating, oh my God, Chef Boyardee or SpaghettiOs.
Or SpaghettiOs. I had SpaghettiOs in college. Like, cause I was like, I need something easy and quick and da-da-da-da. So I got some fucking SpaghettiOs because I was like, oh, these were the tits when I was a kid. I have never gotten acid reflux quicker in my life. I like ate it and within a half hour, I was like, my heart is trying to come out of my chest.
It tasted like someone just filled a can up with ketchup and little noodles, and they were like, good. The kids will go wild.
And they did.
And they did, and I did. I did. Liking ravioli.
I miss being a child.
I miss being a child and not having worries or cares.
I'm not having fun.
I'm not having fun.
This movie actually made me feel it pretty fiercely.
I'm not having fun. Oh no.
No, it's like, well, should we get into it?
Letlet's get into it.
Before I say something else depressing. Before I say something else depressing. I am talking about the movie Five Nights at Freddy's because that just came out So we are staying on the cutting edge.
The cutting edge
of children's horror. Because I'll say that right away. This was definitely a movie for children.
What was
But at the same time, I don't know. I would assume PG-13 because a woman does get bisected. But it is like the only time that anything really happens. So I feel like it at least needs to be a PG-13.
Yeah.
It's weird. I'm on the wiki and it doesn't actually say. And I'm like, I feel like it should. Well, it definitely is supposed to, I think, be for kids because like that's who, for some reason, the predominant audience is for this movie. Like for Five Nights at Freddy's Wholesale.
Why,
I don't,
by the way?
Personally get that. I don't know. I don't understand. Because it's like, what about, like, I don't know. If I was a kid, I feel like, but at the same time, I'm talking as someone who likes horror and like as a kid liked horror and everything. But I don't know, like, especially like really young kids, like aren't like, I remember our cousin being like all about it when he was like 6 or 7 or something.
Really into it. Not because he played it, because he wasn't allowed to, but because he just like saw other people talking about it, and
I don't even think he was allowed to see them playing it.
Yeah. It's like when we watched Family Guy in secret because we weren't allowed to.
Oh, yes.
It reminds me of, I don't know if you ever did this, but I was really weird and macabre.
It is PG-13, by the way.
It's PG-13. But whenever like I was around a group of kids, we'd end up like exchanging scary stories.
Every time. Birthdays and shit.
Yeah. So it kind of reminds me of that where like kids just like icky shit, you know?
Kids like to be scared. They like to be scared.
I loved it. I love that story of that lady going to sleep and like she felt her dog lick her hand, but it was actually the murderer. That one wilded me out. Humans have tongues too or whatever. Yeah, so I don't know. But I think I heard that one about 4,000 times, and every time I was like, yeah, it's so cool.
So it's like on one hand, yeah, I guess I can sit here and be like, I don't get why kids like these, but then turn around and be like, but we were into that shit. So kids just like to be scared.
They just like getting scary shit.
Mm-hmm. So they definitely had to keep the rating on this one a little low so that the kiddos could come. But it was released very recently. The release date was the 27th of October.
Oh.
It is no longer October. The 27th of October. It runs about 109 minutes. Didn't need to be 109 minutes, but
could have cut some of that.
Well, and then I'm also just keeping in mind, I am also coming at this with very little to no knowledge of Five Nights at Freddy's. Like, I have only watched Markiplier play it like once and just play the game. So I have no idea of anything about like the lore of this, because apparently the lore is quite expansive. It's for a game about checking a camera and then things jump out at you.
It goes in hard if you want to know about it.
Yeah, they go in pretty damn hard. I know Charlie has some knowledge of it. So I came into this as like, I'm the parent who dragged whose child dragged me to this movie. Where I'm like, okay, let's see. What can I get out of this? Not a lot. It was cute. It was cute for the movie. It was I had a fun time. I did have a fun time. Was it like the greatest horror movie? No, but it's for children, so. But have we seen horror movies that are good, like work for kids that are good? Yes. So, but getting into it, like I said, this movie came out fairly recently. It was directed by Emma Tammy. It has Josh Hutcherson in it of Hunger Games fame. Yeah, and I'll tell you what, he's still a handsome little man, but he's a little man. He's small. He seems small, and he still looks very young.
How old?
Like he looks very young. Like at
25.
At one point, he's 31. He's 31.
What?
I'm older than him by mere days.
Damn.
No, other way around. He's older than me by mere days. Sorry.
He's old. I can still say that.
Okay, you fucker. Okay, you little bitch.
Don't worry, my time.
But no, I think he's good. I mean, he's definitely been in things. And I'll tell you what, during Hunger Games, thirsted. Man, I was in college and I was just like, handsome.
I was like, oh, that's a guy, you know?
That's a guy.
Look at that.
I'm trying to see if it's like, I literally Googled him just because I wanted to see if there was a height. And I was like,
he looks like he would be short. But maybe that's just being mean.
I'm pretty sure he is short. Like, anyway, he also looked too young. And at one point in this movie, we were like, is he supposed to be the dad or is he the brother? Because he looks too young to be a dad.
He's 5'5".
Oh, so that's pretty short.
He's small.
That is pretty short. That's a small boy. So anyway, it also has, let me see. There's a girl named Piper Rubio. I don't know who that is. Elizabeth Lale as Vanessa. I don't know who this is. I'm trying to see if there's no, I've never seen anything that this girl was in. There's a Mary Stuart Masterson. Do I know anything? Nope. Oh, well, she's in Fried Green Tomatoes. I know of that one, but I haven't seen it. And then we have, I don't know, a little known actor known as Matthew Lillard, who also decided to show his face for this one.
Love him.
And I love Matthew. So it was fun. It was a fun time. So getting into it. We start off at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. And we are dropped right into the action of like a security guard attempting to flee from some unseen force, but it gets him. And then it straps him to this torture device. And this mask with these whirling gears gets lowered onto his face. And the camera pans away and we don't get to see it kill him. But we definitely assume that he dies.
We definitely assume.
Meanwhile, then we kind of skip forward to our main character, mall security guard for a short time, Mike something. The movie does not say his name forever, or his last name forever. So he's Mike, played by Josh Hutcherson. He gets fired from his mall job. And this movie is set in like the 90s, like the early 90s. And the mall scene is very early 90s. But it did touch on something that I have thought about before when I've been at malls, where it's like a kid's kind of screaming. And then you see a parent dragging the kid away and you just assume, well, that's the parent. But have you ever thought, am I witnessing a kidnapping in progress?
I don't.
Where the kid's like screaming, and I think about it. I'm like, is this a kid just being a shitty kid, or is this a kidnapping? Should I be concerned? Should I be calling security?
Usually I wait to hear any kind of like noises that would indicate not just a temper tantrum, like I don't know you or help. Usually if those words are
that's not my purse, or that's my purse.
That's my purse.
That's my purse.
If they don't say those things, well, then you deserve to get kidnapped. I don't know. I'm joking.
The only difference in me,
I really am joking.
I actually did not catch what you said. What did you say?
I said if you don't yell those things, then you deserve to get kidnapped. But obviously, you don't.
No,
you ever deserve that unless you're a really bad kid. In which case, watch out.
In which case, your parents are like, "Please, free child, come take them. Remove him from mine sight." Well, unlike me, Josh Hutcherson decides to act on this, and he tackles this father into a fountain and beats the shit out of him.
Too much.
Turns out it is the kid's dad.
Yeah. 9 out of 10 times it's the kid's dad. Even in a kidnapping situation, it's probably the kid's dad.
Yeah. We also do get a glimpse into his personal life. He has a young sister named Abby. And his parents have both died. And he's taking care of her. He's far too young to be taking care of her and ill-equipped to take care of her. And so social services are trying to get her, or his aunt is trying to press social services into giving Abby to her. But this aunt is a nasty little bitch who only wants to adopt Abby because of the check that she'd get from the state to care for her.
Ah.
We also have Mike having a career counselor by the name of Steve Raglan, who is played by Matthew Lillard, who offers him a job as the night guard at Freddy's, thus kicking off the events of the film. We do get some other backgrounds, like we do find out that Josh Hutcherson is trying to do dream manipulation, like lucid dreaming.
What?
To try and figure out who kidnapped his brother.
Whoa.
So that kind of gives a background as to why he attacked this father the way he did. Because we get a glimpse that when he was a child, he had a younger brother before Abby. And Abby, the kid, can't remember his name. Some kid, gets, Abner. No, Garrett is the kid.
Boo.
I think that's what it's gonna be. And he gets kidnapped while they're on like a camp. Well, Garrett is a little more understandable. Anyway, Garrett is his younger brother. He gets stolen by someone when they're on like a camping trip. And he starts to lucid dream. He wants to try to lucid dream to kind of figure out what he can figure out from his dream, what it's trying to tell him. Well, he does eventually accept the job at Freddy's because the situation with his aunt is looking dire. He doesn't want to lose Abby. Abby is also very an odd, reclusive child who doesn't talk, and she draws a lot.
Cool kid.
During the first night of his job, Mike is really awesome, and he falls asleep. But he falls asleep in lucid dreams about Garrett. But he also, in this dream, something that happens that didn't happen before is he turns around and there are these 5 kids kind of surrounding him. But then they flee when he tries to approach them. So he's like, that's what really spurs his like, I must lucidly dream on the second night. And the whole time, every time like a night would end, Charlie and I would be like, one night at Freddy's. On the second night, Mike meets police officer Vanessa Shelley, who, I don't know, you could replace her with a wooden armoire, and I wouldn't have been able to tell the difference because the acting was so wooden. I know that I've made that joke a few times on this pod, but I still think it's hilarious.
I'm going to keep using it.
So I'm going to keep doing it. She does kind of give she kind of gives like a background about Freddy's that was closed during the 1980s when 5 children were murdered there. The suspect and the victims' bodies were never found. Meanwhile, Jane, the aunt, decides, hey, I'm not getting Abby any other way. So I guess I'm going to try to besmirch my nephew's name by hiring a group of vandals to go and trash the new place that he's working at.
What is wrong with her?
I don't know. I don't get it. One of the people that Josh Hutcherson's character has been working with, a girl by the name of Max. She's been babysitting for Abby while Josh is off doing work. Come to find out, she's been working for Jane this whole time to try and find out a reason, like try to find evidence so that she can get taken away.
How is this bitch getting so many people to work for her?
I don't know. No one says anything about money other than like when he finally
have any money because she wants that government check.
Yeah, so I don't understand.
Is she particularly persuasive or is she really hot?
No, she's a bitch.
Aww.
And she's not that hot. She's not totally unfortunate, but she's not. Well, anyway, so she hires this group to vandalize the restaurant. And this is where I find it the disconnect. Because like he stays the night. It happens the second night. So like after the second night happens, the vandals come in and do it. But he stays the whole night, leaves, and then they break in during the day. He can't be held accountable for something that happened when he wasn't there. Like,
yeah, that's not how that works.
Exactly. I was confused, but it gives us a reason to watch some kids get killed.
Oh.
I say kids, they're like in their 20s.
So it's not
so basically the gang breaks in. Yeah. So Mike leaves and the gang enters the restaurant, and Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy, and Mr. Cupcake all come alive and absolutely murk this group of kids.
I was just
this
about
team.
to say, oh,
Whatever.
The
These
kids have
adults.
Really weird names.
No, they're adults because like one of the it was like one of them's like supposed to be like kind of like leader, and he was like sitting outside with like a motorcycle, and he's like, yeah, he's left. And the first thing I said to Charlie, I looked over at him, I was like, that man has never ridden a motorcycle in his fucking life. Especially not a crotch rocket. Like I'm not being rude, but it's like this was a bigger gentleman. A bigger gentleman would not ride a crotch rocket. That would be far too uncomfortable.
He needs something sturdy.
Speaking as another bigger gentleman, I would never try to ride a crotch rocket. My big body would destroy that little thing. So yeah, one of them, like the cupcake, like, gnaws on one of their faces. A couple of them are killed off screen. And then at one point, Max comes in trying to find what happened to her people that she was with. And she gets beckoned in by like a ghost of a child. And it eventually beckons her to Freddy, where she's pulled into the costume and the costume bites her in half. And I was like, I even looked at Charlie and I said, for PG-13, that I was not expecting a bisection on screen.
Love it.
But yeah, and that's kind of like the only really violence that we see after that. So we get to the third night. The third night, because Max is no longer there because she's dead, he has to bring Abby with him to the place.
I don't think his boss wants him to do that.
Yeah, I don't know.
As a kid, though,
I wouldn't think so either.
Going overnight to a Chuck E. Cheese, I would be
that would be fierce.
Myself. Oh, spider
that would be
forever.
That would be fierce Tina Aguilera. I loved Chuck E. Cheese.
Ugh.
I wish I had like a memory from a Chuck E. Cheese or like a Dave and Buster's that was like significant to me, because then I'd use that as a sibling story, but I just don't.
But I just don't. It's just magic there. That's all I got.
Yep. I'm so tired. I'm not
having fun.
I'm having fun right now. I'm just saying that comment, by the way, was meant in general. Which I don't think that makes it any better, actually.
I meant life, okay?
I meant life.
All of it.
So anyway, the animatronics actually end up befriending Abby. And then Mike discovers that the animatronics are, alive.
And friendly to children?
Friendly to children. Friendly to Abby. Because eventually Vanessa also gets involved, and she kind of gives a little more of the backstory. It comes out that we learn that the ghosts are actually possessed by the ghosts of the missing children. And I checked with Charlie. Apparently this all checks out in terms of Five Nights at Freddy lore.
Yes.
I thought they were just animatronics that just killed people.
No. I have
because that makes more sense to me.
On the lore for my segment, so that's fun.
I don't know. I think I know what you're going to talk about because Charlie told me about it too, I think. But like, I still am like, I think that this animatronic, I think that was sufficient. I don't think it needed all of this, personally. I think it could have just been about marauding animatronics that just have gone crazy. Whatever. Anyway, so on the fourth night, Abby gets injured accidentally while they're all bonding with animatronics. And basically, it all culminates in the children of these that are in these animatronic suits being like, yo, we want Abby. Like, we'll tell you who stole Garrett if you give us Abby. And he's like, totes. He says yes at first, and then he changes his mind.
Oh, it's fine. I changed my mind. No, you're still the worst person in the world.
Yeah, I was like, okay, no. Like, I was like, that. I was confusion. I didn't like that.
He's just a bad brother.
But he gets strapped into the same kind of chair that we saw at the beginning. But he does manage to get away. Meanwhile, this is back at the house. Like, Abby's back at the house with Jane, the aunt. Because on his last night, he asked Jane to babysit Abby. Well, Freddy comes to their house and ices Jane.
So they can,
and then takes. I guess that was another thing I was confused. I was like, wait, they can leave?
I didn't know they could.
But they sure did. Well, actually, it says, oh no, I'm remembering now, because it's a damaged yellow Freddy animatronic. I think it's supposed to be Golden Freddy. Like, I think that's like a thing.
Yes.
So I think it's supposed to be a reference to that.
Yes.
I also think it's something else now that I'm thinking about it, and I'll get to that in just a moment. But oh wait, no, it is the kid. God, I'm so confused by that. This is why the kids possessing the robot did not fly.
I'm so
it did
confused.
not. It did not sparkle. It did not sparkle. I didn't like it. Basically, Abby gets taken back to the restaurant. Anyway, Vanessa treats Mike's for his injuries. And
I honestly
she reveals.
don't remember who Vanessa fucking is.
Neither do I. She reveals that she's the daughter of one William Afton, who again is a canonical character in this universe. Who is a serial killer who kidnapped, murdered 5 children and Garrett. It turns out he hid their bodies inside the animatronics, knowing the police would never search those. And no one cared about the rotting carrion smell, I guess.
And nobody noticed. Hey, this one's full of blood.
And their souls are under his control somehow.
Okay. Okay.
And then realizing that the animatronics plan to kill Abby and then have her join him, Mike rushes to the restaurant. The animatronics get defeated. He has like these like tasers that he's able to take them out with. But then this mysterious yellow rabbit shows up and reveals himself to be William, aka Steve Raglan, aka Matthew Lillard.
Oh.
All the way from the back of the beginning, from the beginning of the movie. Now Abby, little Rembrandt that she is, knows that the children in the suits like her drawings. So she draws a picture of William murdering the children in order to free them from the control and the influence. And then Vanessa tries to stop him because he's her father, but he fucking stabs her. And he did that. And I looked at Charlie, I'm like, what did she fucking expect? He's a child killer.
Wow.
And then the animatronics see Abby's drawing. They turn on William. Mr. Cupcake bites off parts of his suit, triggering the internal spring lock mechanism, which again, the spring locks are something within the lore of Five Nights at Freddy's, which fatally wound him. They drag him away. Mike and Abby carry Vanessa out of the restaurant, and Vanessa falls into a coma and is hospitalized. And then Mike and Abby reconcile and resume their normal life, and I guess hide the body of their dead aunt. Because how are they going to explain the dead body of his aunt in their house where they famously hated each other? How is that going to look like anything other than Mike fucking killed his aunt?
Oh no, a bunch of animatronics actually came and killed my aunt, and don't worry, I beat him though. Because my sister drew a picture.
And the only other witness is in a coma.
Yeah, wait, it ends with her in a stupid coma?
In a fucking coma.
Wow. Also, did you say that the aunt got killed? Like, did that happen?
Aunt got killed. I said she got iced.
I remember you saying they took Abby, but maybe I was just kind of dissociating. This sounds kind of bad.
I was dissociating.
I know.
But no, yeah, it didn't make any sense.
Like, I know that I didn't watch it.
I was like, he'd still be in big trouble. He'd still be in big trouble in Little China.
Yeah, the aftermath of
That's a great movie.
That's a good movie. The aftermath of this doesn't make sense.
The aftermath of this movie is not mathing.
No. Also, just
like he'd still be in big, huge trouble over that. Also, the place that he was security guarding collapsed in on itself.
So I don't think he's going to get his paycheck. So they're probably not going to let him continue to be a guardian, right?
Yeah, I don't know. And yet they're like, isn't life great? Like at one point, like the child psychologist that's been working with them kind of goes, whatever you're doing, Mike Schmidt, you better keep doing it. And it's like,
what?
So we're just forgetting the fact that his aunt is dead in his house, murdered viciously.
Maybe they ate her and like took her with them.
No, her body was very clearly shown on the screen.
Okay, well then they must have covered that up then. I don't know how else you get away with that.
They buried her in the backyard.
I would, I guess. If I
She was a nasty bitch. She deserved it.
Awful. How I can't explain this to the police. They're not going to believe me. I guess I have to get rid of the body in that specific.
Especially after I beat the shit. Especially after I beat the shit out of that one dad.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be records on you for sure. Like they're not going to like.
There's part of me that wonders if because like I said earlier, they don't actually say Mike Schmidt's name until like the very end of the movie. Who again, similar to William Afton, is a canonical character in Five Nights at Freddy's. He is like the first security guard that you play in the first game. So, and I don't know why I think was it like I don't know if it was for the movie, like it's like, oh, is he really Mike Schmidt? No, like for the people who are like in on the game.
But his first name is Mike, so obviously it's fucking Mike Schmidt. Like,
yeah, I don't know. And then I was thinking like in terms of a movie, like it could be that like because right away at the very beginning of the movie when he's meeting with Steve Raglan, he's like, and who are you trying to tell me who you are, Mike Schmidt? And he doesn't say his full name. He goes, Mike Schmidt. And then he offers him the position at Freddy Fazbear. So like part of me knowing that he's the one who killed Garrett, I was like, I don't know, maybe he recognized the name from the newspaper. But at the same time, Schmidt is a wildly common last name.
It is the most common other than Johnson.
Really, I can think of other names that are more common, but Peterson, Anderson, all the sons, basically.
All the sons.
Johnson, you said, like, those ones are all going to be. Also, there was a little cameo by an individual by the name of Matthew Patrick.
Matt Pat.
Otherwise, Matt Pat, who I don't know who that is, but Charlie got a kick out of seeing him.
You don't know who that is?
No.
Wow. Okay. All right.
I know of him.
He's in my
section. Is he? Oh, is he the game theory? Is he the game theory guy? The game theory. Oh, yes, that's right. Because Charlie was saying that he kind of inadvertently probably gave a lot of ideas to the guy who made Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yes. He made so
and I'm sure
many videos.
He's probably, and the guy who made this is like, yes, interesting. Who knows? It's me DMing. What did you say you think it was? Well, okay.
You'll have to find out later.
But yeah, that was Five Nights at Freddy's. I'd say for a horror movie made for kids, I think if I was like a 7-8-year-old or like at the time, I think I would have got a kick out of this. I think I would have gotten about as much a kick out of this as I would have gotten out of Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island. And who knows, maybe this could have been my Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island. Psych, Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island is way scarier every day of the week.
And
but anyway.
Better, just story-wise. This one
you watch
issues.
Yeah, it's like, well, you do see a girl get bisected. In Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island, you see a zombie get reconstituted from the flesh to, like, from the bones to flesh, which is terrifying.
It's so fucking good.
Also, you see 3 people disintegrate actively.
Yeah. Ugh. Now I'm thinking about that. I want to watch
They were really...
movie.
That's a great movie. I have it on Amazon.
All right, is it my turn?
But that's Five Nights. That's Five Nights. It was cute.
So cute. Is it my turn?
It's okay. Your turn.
Yay! Okay.
No. Yes, it's your turn.
I would get more alcohol, but I don't want it anymore. It's gross.
Well, and also that's the one thing I've noticed with this one is it's a little hard for us to pause at the same time. Like, are we gonna have to clap again?
Oh, shit! Yeah, I think you just gotta have 2 drinks with you at this point, or get Charlie to
just
get
double
some.
fisting. Buzz, just like Charlie.
More alcohol. Okay.
Like Angelica in Rugrats, like ding.
Yes.
I've lost control.
I lost control over my life.
Stu, why are you making pudding at 3 a.m?
Okay, so now on a way less fun route is my segment, which is real sad.
Joy.
I got my information from Wikipedia, Murderpedia, a video by MatPat, the game theory.
Woo!
And
him.
Denver 7 ABC News article. So, first I typed in Five Nights at Freddy's True Crime, and Google was like, I don't know what you're trying to tell me, Charlie. Like, so it gave me like, I think a bunch of children search if it's real or not. Like, and so Google was like, no, Five Nights at Freddy's isn't a real thing. But MatPat he has a YouTube channel. I'm saying this for the audience, not for you, because you already know who he is. He has a YouTube channel called The Game Theory, where he talks about theories and a lot of like
the game theory
in like popular video games. And I don't know what happened with Five Nights at Freddy's, but he did one video and just like kept making them. Like,
something tickled a synapse or something for him.
There are so many different theories on it. But the first video that he does is a theory that people posit for the game, that it's actually based on a real story, which is what I'm going to talk about. So, December 14th, 1993, in Aurora, Colorado, a 19-year-old Nathan Dunlap is a former employee of Chuck E. Cheese. He goes to the restaurant at 9 p.m. just for, a casual ham and cheese sandwich, plays some arcade games, and around 9:50 p.m. he goes to the bathroom. Now, I can't imagine
the arcade games.
A 19-year-old
the arcade game
going to Chuck E. Cheese alone, like an hour before closing, and having everyone not be like, what the fuck is that about? Right?
Yeah. Well, because also the games aren't like that amazing. It's not Dave and Buster's.
It's more for children. Like,
fucking love Dave and Buster's.
It's fun. I like it. But a kid, a teenager alone.
Yeah.
Also, he used to work there. That's also weird. I just feel like I'd be so weirded out by this kid. If I was a parent there, I'd be like, who the fuck is this kid?
Also, if I was an employee, I'd be like, what is that guy doing here?
Yeah, why is he here? Maybe they didn't work with him or remember him. I'm not really sure. Or maybe they didn't care because they had a very busy night because a large birthday party was just getting out and they didn't leave on time because people don't care when, workers have to, lock up and everything because whatever, it's
live their lives.
So he goes to the bathroom.
Little chartreuse gets whatever they want.
Yeah, and these poor teen workers are like waiting for this family to fucking leave. They get out and they start doing the end of day tasks. The manager goes into the back room and she starts tallying up all of the receipts from the day. And during this time, Nathan Dunlap comes out of the bathroom with a .25 caliber semi-automatic pistol. Sylvia Crowell is 19 years old. She's cleaning the salad bar, which is closest to the bathroom, and she is shot at close range in the right ear. Pretty much immediately. I don't think she had time to react or even know he was there. Ben Grant is 17 years old, and he is shot in the left eye. He was vacuuming, so he really didn't hear what was happening. And then Colleen O'Connor is 17 years old, and she's also shot in the head. She unfortunately did see what was happening and definitely pleaded for her life, and he shot her in the head anyway. Bobby Stevens is 20 years old. He's working in the back kitchen area, And he hears the gunshots, but he thinks it's his coworkers popping balloons from the party. So it's not like...
I think that could be fair.
Yeah, it's not fair. Weird noise for him. So he doesn't think anything's happening. So he is unloading the dishwasher, and Dunlap comes in and shoots him in the jaw. Bobby Stevens hits the ground, but he doesn't die, which is good. He instead lays and just kind of plays dead, and then
smart.
Dunlap kind of moves on. So Dunlap then goes into the back room where the manager is, and he makes her unlock the safe, and then he shoots her as well. During that exchange, Bobby Stevens runs out the back door and goes to a nearby apartment complex for help. And then the police are called.
Bleeding profusely from his jaw.
Yeah, his jaw is bleeding, and he's like, "Whoa!" Dunlap gets away before the police arrive. He has $1,500 in cash, and then he has game tokens, which... Why would you take game tokens? I assume they're not worth anything. Are you going back?
I always hate hearing shit.
Chuck E. Cheese?
Yeah, going to a different Chuck E. Cheese? I'm going to try to get that spider squash game, like get that real
Gotta
good.
Get my high score.
I will say it is always, I know you prefaced this with it's being a bummer. It does always bum me out when it's like stories where it's like, it's kids.
Yeah.
Not only that, it's like when anyone dies and the killer did it for literally nothing. Like $1,000 was the price of these young people's lives. Like, it is gross to me. Burn in hell.
It's a really crazy case because that is the whole case. Those are the murders. It takes less than a couple minutes for everything to happen. It's all fast. Almost everybody dies except for Stevens. And it doesn't really make a lot of sense. Dunlap was fired from his position at the Chuck E. Cheese, which is why people think he killed everybody, was like for revenge on getting fired, but it
was a Chuck E. Cheese job.
Yeah, that feels a little...
And he's 19.
Insane to me. I don't feel like that was the reason. And the manager that fired him was not working that night. So it's not like he had a personal vendetta against this manager. And then it gets kind of more murky. So he goes to his girlfriend's apartment, and then he gets a call from his mom saying the police are looking for him because, I don't know, he was an ex-employee at a Chuck E. Cheese and he was spotted eating there, and now everyone's dead. So he goes home, washes his hands with hydrogen peroxide, takes a shower, stashes the stuff in the freezer, and is questioned by police. They take the gunshot residue, they take his clothes, and then they come back like 12 hours later and arrest him because it's pretty open shut.
Pretty cut and dry.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm trying to adjust. Stella's under here, and I don't want to run over her.
Have to be careful. It's like when Brendan adjusted his chair that one time, and he just set it on your foot.
Smashed my foot.
Oh, I like watched it happen, and I was like, ugh, no.
I was convinced my toenail was gone. I was like, it's over. It's done.
That foot's dead. It's just all black and curled up in on itself. I'm the Wicked Witch of the East.
Yep, it was horrible. Anyway, I'm sorry.
So Dunlap is then put on trial. He is facing the death sentence, and everybody in the area is really upset about what happened. Obviously, it's a bunch of young people getting gunned down in their place of work for really no reason. So the prosecution kind of has a slam dunk case. Really not a lot to worry about here, mostly because Bobby Stevens survived the attack and can stand up.
Finger the guy.
Say, that guy shot me in the face. You see this big old scar on my chin? That guy shot me. So, you get a chilling testimony from a survivor. Then you have a a history of the crimes that Dunlap has committed. The prosecution goes through everything. I mean, when he's 15, he's committing robberies. He's in juvenile court. And then in 1993, he's already arrested 5 times before the murders took place. So, like, 1993, he gets arrested 5 times and then goes on to kill 5 people. So the prosecution's like, and there we go.
They don't even have to do like they just kind of look at the judging and go,
I mean, so, and then they also put his mother on the stand and they ask her questions and she just pleads the 5th. And so that doesn't look great because it kind of looks like she doesn't really care about you enough to lie or say anything really good. And then
I can't imagine this man having too great of a home life.
Yeah, it keeps going. Usually I don't actually get into the trial stuff, but this one I thought was kind of interesting. I found a really in-depth article on Murderpedia about it.
Well, it sounds like everything happens at the trial.
Yeah. So we have the prosecution who's just like banger after banger, getting him down. And then the defense is like, the defense rests. Like, they don't even try. They don't say anything about, like, why this would have happened. They don't give any character witnesses. They do discuss briefly that he had an abusive childhood, but they don't bring in any expert witnesses to describe, like, why that would make someone violent in the future, or really anything. Anything. They don't even bring up mental health in any way, shape, or form. And so the jury goes back, they deliberate for 3.5 hours, and then they find him guilty. And that is all well and good, because when I read all of this, I was like, yeah, he killed 4 people and tried to kill a 5th. Death penalty, let's go. But then you hear about the trial and the fact that his defense didn't even try. They didn't even do their job.
Because they knew it was over.
Well, it was over, but there's a difference, I think. Oh, God.
They do still have an obligation. They do still have an obligation to at least try.
They have an obligation, and I mean, there's a difference between going to jail forever and being on death row, which I think would fuck you up. I don't really know. I'm not saying that he doesn't deserve to die because he killed 4 people, and I don't love that. But
and seriously injured a 5th.
I think he deserves a fair trial, which, so in 2002, Dunlap is granted a hearing to reduce his sentences because he keeps coming back saying, I need some more, I need something. And he gets a new attorney, Philip Cherner, who kind of breaks down how the original defense was inadequate and didn't do anything. And he goes through, so he does what the original defense didn't, which is he talks about Dunlap's home life from when he was a kid, which was, oh my God, horrific. Like, his sister's getting sexually assaulted by his father. He's getting the shit kicked out of him every day. And he has bipolar disorder. Like, it's pretty obvious that he has mental health issues and they are causing him to be violent and they're untreated and they're a problem. And I feel like they had an expert witness come forward who kind of explained everything too on like why all of this happened. And they're like, the judge looks at all the new evidence and is like, yeah, your first defense wasn't very good, but this new evidence isn't going to make me change anything. I think a jury would still find you guilty and still sentence you to death. So that's how that ends in 2002. And then in March 23rd, 2020, Governor Jared Polis signs a bill to repeal the state's death penalty and commute sentences of 3 men who are on the state's death row. So they commuted from death row to life in prison, and Dunlap is one of those. So in the end, he doesn't get put to death, but he's still in prison forever. I don't know how I feel about it, because he definitely killed children.
Capital punishment is always a tricky subject. I know that people, it evokes strong emotions from individuals. What I will say is, as long as it's life in prison with no chance of parole, I guess whatever, rot bitch, and then rot and then rot in hell. Like,
yeah, it's just a no-win. Like, every angle you look at it, like his home life, and then everything's sad and bad, and I was like, oh shit, my segment sucks. But
it's one of those things where it's like, I know that, like, I definitely concede that, yes, terrible home life can absolutely have horrible consequences and repercussions for individuals. It does not give you in any capacity clemency when you take the lives of other innocent people.
You can't just kill people willy-nilly and be like, what?
Yeah, he'd be like, but my father hit me. Okay. And you killed 4 people about it.
Yeah, it's really rough. Also, okay, on a slightly, no, it's still sad, everybody's dead. But, so, the original game, Five Nights at Freddy's, the story is pretty much how it's laid out in the movie, where you are a security guard, you are in charge of this kind of defunct Chuck E. Cheese, basically, and all the animatronics come to life and try to kill you by shoving you into the suit. The background is a murderer lured 5 children, killed them all, and then stuffed them into the suits to hide the evidence. And now the ghosts of those children are what you're running from in the game. So in the Matt Pat game theory video, he outlines the connections between the game and those real murders that happened in the Chuck E. Cheese, which is kind of crazy. Like, it's definitely rough because these are actually real people that died. But I did the research, so I'm going to tell you the similarities because I found it slightly interesting, but, you know, I'm not trying to be insensitive. So there's 5 children and the 5 suits, and then in the actual murder case, there are the 5 victims. And a lot of, like, the placement of where, I guess, the animatronics are is kind of similar to, like, where the actual murders occurred in the layout of the actual restaurant. I feel like there's more stuff, and I'm already blanking.
Yeah, and I think there was like each of the like the suits appear in locations where the children were murdered, and they kind of mirror that, like, the crime.
Yeah, like one's close to the bathroom, one's over by the kitchen. There's a lot with, like, I don't know, in the game there's like a golden Freddy, which I guess can, like, teleport and follow you around. But whenever you see him, he doesn't really move. He's, like, kind of incorporeal, and he hangs out in the kitchen. And they talk in the video about how he's Bobby Stevens, the one that didn't die, because he's, like, not moving, I guess. And in the game, I guess they have, like, notes from a previous security guard, and he tells you if they, like, try to kill you, I guess, to lay limp and to act like you're dead, which is what happened in the actual case. So I don't know if they are real connections or if they're just random things that kind of connect for some reason.
I think it's a case study of humans trying to draw connections where there aren't any, but then another human who's seeing these videos become more and more popular about his game and being like, well, if you're going to give me free ideas, then I will happily indulge you.
Sure. But yeah, that
I don't know. I genuinely think the first game was just him being like, it's a horrible Chuck E. Cheese nightmare.
Yeah, animatronics are scary. No one likes those.
Yeah, no, animatronics are terrifying. Like, so I truly think that the very first game was not supposed to have all this I think it was just animatronics trying to kill you. Everyone's worst fear about like being late night at a Chuck E. Cheese. But then people started to try to ascribe meaning where there was none, as humans like to do. And he capitalized on it, and he sure did. Took that right to the bank. Took all those ideas right to that motherfucking bank, and now there's a movie about it. So
good job, I guess. You won capitalism.
Mm-hmm. At least that's what I think. I don't think that he truly based this game off of these real life murders.
I hope not. It feels a little yucko, I think. I don't know how I feel about it because I have never played the game, but it feels icky.
I haven't either. And I'm sure that and then there's other things where it's like, there's theories about like, no, Mike Schmidt is actually the real murderer, and Five Nights at Freddy's is actually him in hell, and it's him living. And I'm just like, y'all, it's a game about animatronic killing people. It's not that serious.
It's fun though. I love overanalyzing stuff.
I know, and I think that that's fun. And hey, in this case, it led to this man being able to really expand his game world and make a tidy sum from it. There's merch everywhere for Five Nights at Freddy, and then, like I said, now there's a goddamn movie. So,
with Josh Hutcherson, I have to say Josh. Yeah, every time I say his name wrong, a little bit wrong every time. Either Josh or Hutchinson.
Josh. Not Josh. I love that.
Josh Hutchinson.
That's the name. That's the name of the episode. Josh Hutchinson.
Josh Hutchinson. He's good. He's a good actor, I think. Maybe. I haven't.
Yeah, I think in things.
I liked Hunger Games. I still have a
I thought he did the best.
It says Josh Hutcherson, so he came to mind.
I feel like he did the best that he could with the scripts that he's been given.
I think so. I'm sure.
I say that I actually believe that about most actors and actresses I've seen, where it's like half the time I don't even blame them as actors. I blame the scripts.
Yes. You know who's
they were trying to polish a turd, and sometimes they just smushed it.
Yeah. You know who's the best actor in the fucking world? Nicolas Cage.
Tony Collette.
I just watched that Renfield movie where he's Dracula. And
was it good?
It's cute. It's really campy and fun. And like he just gives it his all, no matter what. He's like, I'm going whole hog. I don't care.
He's an odd duck.
I love it.
He's an odd duck. I don't mind.
Anyway, do you want to do a sibling story?
You do. You said you had one.
I have one. Yay. So before this, when I was going to make my super delicious cream soda whiskey beverage, I went to go get my shot glass, which is a little too high in my cabinet. And I reached up. Brendan's watching me do this, by the way, which is really funny because I'm like, I'm not going to ask him for help because I'm an independent woman. And I promptly like tip it a little and it wobbles and then it goes back down. But I already panicked too hard and I went for another grab because I thought it was going to fall. And so I just pushed it towards my face and it just fell out and it just shattered. Like shards, shrapnel everywhere. Everyone's getting it in the eyes.
The grenade went off.
It did. And like, I just look at it, at the debris, and I look back at him and he's looking at me, shaking his head. And now my party with sluts shot glass is dead. And I loved that shot glass.
Party with sluts?
Party with sluts. My friends in college got it for me because they thought it was funny.
Well, now I know what to get you for your
party
Christmas.
with sluts.
Party with sluts.
But yeah, so that was my sibling story, is that there's a bunch of glass now on my counter and on my floor and in my garbage and some in my hair. It's fine.
In your eyes, maybe?
Maybe a little. This one hurts a lot when I blink. Just kidding.
Oh, God.
I'm fine. But yeah, so that was fun. That was my fun little tale.
Fun tale.
DuckTales.
DuckTales. Woo.
I fucking love it.
Sorry, I'm really low energy.
I lost it. My throat hurts real bad. I think the sugar in that cream soda did not help me.
No.
No.
I don't think it did. Why don't you tell the children where they can find us?
Well, if you guys want to follow us, we are on everything. We're on Twitter, X, whatever it's called. Facebook.
No, it is Twitter. It is Twitter.
Tumblr. We're Living Scary Podcast. On all of them, I think. Look it up. You're more savvy than I am, goddammit. And then we also have a email account. We have two. We have livingscarypodcast@gmail.com or livingvicariously@gmail.com as well. Two for you. You should send us your sibling stories if you want them read out on the podcast. Your horror movie ideas or your true crime story ideas that you want me to cover. I'll do it. Whatever. But send it to us. Thank you. Good night.
Just do it.
Do it.
Walter Cronkite.
I think that's it.
Okay, I can take us out. Ooh,
That fucking
pen. Ooh,
oh my god.
Ooh.